Okay, everybody, Pierce Redmond here for Porkins Policy Radio, PorkinsPolicyReview.com. And this is a very special update to all of the faithful listeners. I am going to be taking an extended break from my regular radio show so that I can focus on my book, which is about, of course, Jeffrey Epstein and my experience investigating the Jeffrey Epstein saga. And this is something that I have been toying around with doing for a little while now, and it's certainly something that the past couple of weeks it has been it's been weighing on me, not in a bad way, but this is sort of a difficult and emotional thing to do. You know, this is an emotional conversation I'm having with all of you. This is maybe the 10th take that I have done trying to get my thoughts out. It's as I said, it's been a long journey with all of you, and I don't want to. I know that sounds very like final, right? Like this is the end of the journey, and it's not the end of the journey. But I am going to be taking, I think what might be a long break from doing the regular weekly radio show. There is a lot that I want to do and that I want to say about how him and this ongoing series of cases have affected my own life and journalism, and I mean, there's a lot of topics that I want to talk about, and I think that the only way that I can really do this in a proper way, in a way that will actually matter and make a difference, is if I take a break from the radio show. So that is what's going to be happening. Some specifics about that. This will the final show. Before the break starts, will be on Tuesday, November 5th. So if you are listening to this right now, there will be no live show this coming Tuesday, October 15th, or the following Tuesday, October 22nd. Now, that's actually unrelated to the book. These are just things that were on my calendar from months and months ago, and I just can't really change those right now. But then I will, as I said, I will be doing a show on the 29th, and then we will do a final show before the break starts on the Tuesday, November 5th, which will also mark the 200th episode of Porkins Policy Radio. So, wanted to end on a high note, right? And at first I was sort of contemplating, I'll just sort of finish out this month. The show on the 29th, but we can't stop at episode 199, right? We got to go to 200. So we're going to do that, and that'll be on Tuesday, November 5th. Also, just a little bit of housekeeping when it comes to this. I will still be doing my regular appearance on the Ochelli Effect, so that is going to be continuing even while I'm writing the book, and I will also be doing my regular bonus podcast on Patreon. Now, just to clarification, on Tuesday, October 15th, I won't be able to do the Ochelli Effect. So hopefully we'll get Robbie Martin to sit in for me. But I will be continuing to do my regular appearance on the Ochelli Effect, which is, of course, every other Tuesday from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find that by tuning into Ochelli.com. You can listen live, or of course, you can also find it on my website and lots of other ways to listen. And again, the bonus podcast will continue. The bonus podcast, though, and much of my Patreon will be focused around the book to a large degree. So I'm going to be changing the levels, the donation levels on the Patreon page. That's going to reflect the book. The bonus podcast is primarily right now It's going to be focused on the book, so I'll be talking about different ideas that I'm going to be talking about or researching. There might be, maybe I might read some little excerpts in the future. It will certainly, it's going to revolve to a large extent around the book. So whatever I happen to be working on with the book is probably what I will be talking about on the bonus podcast. Now, that's not to say that it's going to be all Epstein all the time. I'm sure you don't want to hear that. I know I don't want to talk about that all the time. So the bonus podcast will also be about other stuff as well. But, I think it's going to be a little bit more, maybe like personal, just like stuff that's going on in my life at that moment. Or it might be like totally unrelated things. Maybe we'll just, we'll make it into, as we go along, it might just turn into, I don't know, whatever is interesting me at the moment. My focus right now is on writing the book, so the Patreon is going to be focused around that as well. There are going to be changes to that, different levels that you can donate on, different perks with those. I'll probably have a level where, if you're donating that level, you will get a mention in the acknowledgments to the book. Maybe we can get some signed copies of the book when we get to that stage, mailed out to the listeners. So there's, like I said, there's going to be some changes. And I just want to say that this isn't something that I'm taking lightly. This is something that is actually really emotional for me to be doing, taking a break from talking with all of you, especially the people that have been with me since the podcast all these years back. It's been, it's a difficult choice. It's not something that I am just doing haphazardly. It is something that is deeply personal to me. And I believe me, I want you to all know that I will miss doing the radio show while I'm on this break. It's going to be a new experience for me, especially, since we've been doing the live show every week. It's so much different. You really, you make this connection with all of these people out there that are either tuning in live or listening later, and it's not an easy thing for me to do, to just sort of take a break from doing the radio show. But I think I need to do this if I want to write the book that I want to write. I have an interesting take on the case in general, and I think that's really going to come through with the type of book and the structure of the book that I'm going to be writing. But again, I'll be talking about that more on the bonus podcast. But all the same, I just have to take I have to do this. I have to take some time off from the radio show, because believe me, between everything else that's going on, my day job, just my everyday kind of personal life, and then doing the radio show every week, it's a lot of time. There's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many days in the week, so many weeks in a month. And before you know it, there's no time left to just unwind from the day. There's no time to relax. There's really no time to write. Believe me, hosting a weekly radio show takes all of your time away. Any time that I have that's not devoted to work or my, girlfriend and our life and seeing friends and doing whatever, it really goes into the radio show. I spend a lot of my time every week writing notes, planning guests, losing guests, trying to find replacements, trying to just come up with anything, at times. I mean, it's difficult. I know that some people might make it seem really easy, Chuck and Ed and Aaron and others, but it's a hard thing to do. And when you're so focused on that, when you're focused on creating this show, and really it goes kind of beyond that, because when you're doing a live show, it's different. There's only one take, like this is the 10th or 11th take I've done trying to just get my thoughts out on what I'm going to be doing. But when you're live, there's just that one moment, and you're really creating this this performance, right? Or this piece of art that will never be replicated again. And that's a lot of pressure, and you want to make it good. And when you're doing that, there's no time to write a book, especially one about a topic and about a person that has, for better or worse, has had a large influence on me, and has affected me in ways that will probably stay with me forever. So this is just something that I have to do, and I hope that none of you out there will be too upset with the prospect of not being able to hear me every week on Porkins Policy Radio. But of course, there's still going to be content up on the site, podcast, radio show stuff. Like I said, I'm still going to be doing my regular appearance on Chuck Ochelli's show, The Ochelli Effect, which is you can hear me every other Tuesday from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern by tuning into Ochelli.com. And of course, I will also be doing my bonus podcast on Patreon. But I need to take this opportunity right now before it's too late, because I can easily see getting unfocused by the mere fact of life, that you have all these other things going on, and I don't have the even if it's just I keep saying to myself, even if it's just the one day a week on Tuesdays, even if I just only work on the book from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern like I would do on the show, that's big for me, because I haven't been able to do that. It's the show is my life in a lot of ways. Talking with all of you, so much of my week revolves around Tuesday, and bringing you interesting guests and bringing you interesting conversation, and I love doing that. But this just has to happen for right now. But again, this isn't Chuck and I aren't feuding. This isn't me walking away from the radio show forever. This is definitely not me walking away from all of you forever. This is just me taking a break from the regular radio show to focus on another project. So I hope that you will all stick around with me while this is happening. Go and sign up on Patreon. It's you can do it for as little as $1 a month. I'll be doing the bonus podcast. As I said, it will probably be more than likely it will be related to the book, but there will be other episodes thrown in there for sure. I might even, if we get some breaking news or something fascinating happening geopolitically, I will definitely do a bonus podcast on that. And now, who knows? I think freeing up a little bit of time here, perhaps Christoph and I will finally be able to record some episodes of Porkins' Great Game. I mean, that's like another project that it's so difficult to do that when you've got to focus on this other thing. So I think all I have to say for now, as I said, there will be more information in the bonus podcast for this month. But once again, I am taking a break. I don't know when I will be back to doing regular shows. There will be no live show for the next 2 weeks in October, so no show on the 15th or the 22nd, but I will be back live on the air on October 29th, and the final show before the break will be happening Tuesday, November 5th, which will be episode 200. And maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll do something special for the 200th episode. Part of me wants to just do a regular show and just kind of leave it. I think that feels more Porkins to me. Just let's just do just a regular show, and then we can kind of leave it there. It won't be this like it won't feel like this moment, that was the 200th episode, the last one, it's not going to be a cliffhanger, we're just taking a break. But I think we might also maybe open up the phone lines. People want to call in and reminisce about the good times or the old shows or something like that. Maybe we can do that. Certainly let me know if you have any ideas for what you want the 200th episode to be about, or maybe a little focus. Maybe we'll do like a 1 hour will be a regular, we'll have a guest talking about something, and then the other hour we'll open up the phone lines. But that is going to be happening. But again, regular appearance on the Ochelli Effect, regular monthly bonus podcast, that will be happening for the foreseeable future. One other quick thing, and people might have seen my tweet the other day, just sort of ranting about John Kiriakou, of all people. And I don't even have the energy to go through my issues with him, but you can look at some of my tweets if you want to get an idea. But I said in that rant that would probably be my last rant on Twitter for some time, because I wanted to focus on the book, and because Twitter has just become so unpleasant to be on. It's such an unpleasant grouping of people talking about unpleasant topics in the most unpleasant manner. And I can't really handle that anymore. So I probably won't be on Twitter all that much either. But we'll see how that goes. But I have been doing my best to sort of stay away from that particular social media organization. And believe me, it feels really good. So I highly recommend other people take a break from Twitter. You're really not missing anything. Nothing is going to happen that you won't be able to read about in any other, media space out there. So, Twitter is not, it's not this thing that you need to constantly be checking. I know that it feels like that a lot of the time, and it's almost like a compulsion, but you don't need that. So I will be taking a break from that as well. When I'm on Twitter, it will probably be, related to what I'm working on. But not always. But that is what is just going to be happening. Again, I'll have more updates about this on the bonus podcast. I'm sure I will be talking about this on Chuck's show as well in the coming weeks. So, and again, this isn't really goodbye. This is just taking a slight break just from my show, not from everything. Still plenty of content, and I hope that you will all, join me on the Ochelli Effect, on the bonus podcast. Sign up on Patreon. It's just patreon.com/Pierce Redman. Just $1 a month. That helps a lot. That will help a lot with this book. And again, I'll be changing around the Patreon to reflect the book. That's going to be the focus for the foreseeable future. But anyway, enough rambling. I want to thank all of you for listening. I want to thank all of you for sticking it out with me, and I'll be talking to you all very soon.